Hello and welcome. I'm Jon Garlick, and I'm here with the Sheriff of Calhoun County, Matthew Wade, and this is Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Hey, Sheriff.
Always good to be on the show, John. It's been a fabulous week.
It has been a fabulous week. Your guys have been out there beating the bushes, rounding people up. Let's take a look at the count.
5 arrested, brings our count to 4,925 people arrested, all because somebody was able to help us out and give us information. We can't do it alone.
It can't do it alone. It's a community service, law enforcement, and Sheriff's Office does a great job at that. And every now and again, folks retire, don't they?
Every now and again, folks retire, and this afternoon we'll be having a retirement party for one of our long-term employees. We could bring him up. He's a nice fella. It's not the deputy, it's the dog. QT is his name, and people always want to call him Cutie, but his name is QT.
QT.
And he's a black Labrador, and he is an explosive dog. And you say, why do you really deal with that much explosives? But he was trained to work in our schools, and that explosives he's looking for is ammunition, firearms. If a kid's walking down the hall and he's got a gun on him, QT would smell it and passively alert. And it was a program that was given to us through Vaporwake, and it's actually a company out on Fort McClellan. And QT served with us for about 10 years now, so he's earned his retirement, and he's going to be retiring, and he's spent his career in Alexandria and Ohatchee schools. So,
and those Vaporwake dogs, there was 2 of them, and they were the first 2 in the nation in the school.
They were
here
the first 2 in the
County.
nation in the schools, and they were here in Calhoun County, and the other ones have retired as well, but we have to get on trying to get some more. But QT is a wonderful dog, and basically a lot of kids in Calhoun County have grown up with him in their schools, so he'll be sorely missed, but well-deserved retirement.
A nice rest for them. Now, we don't want you guys to rest. We're going to have the first half of our lineup, and we'll be right back with a really important guest here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to this week's edition of Calhoun County's Most Wanted. First up on our lineup this week, Heather Gibson. Miss Gibson, last known to be living in Oxford. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and possession of marijuana second. Take a look at Brian Sanders. Mr. Sanders, last known to be living in Montgomery. He's wanted for failure to appear on theft by deception first. And this is Ginger Horton. Miss Horton, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for theft of property first. We'd like you to meet William Barfield. Mr. Barfield, last known to be living in Jacksonville. He's wanted for a bond revocation on forgery third ×2. This is Octavio Lopez. Mr. Lopez, last known to be living in Wedowee, he's wanted for probation violation for possession of forged instruments second. Take a look at Connie Moore. Miss Moore, last known to be living in Sylacauga, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property second. And this is Cheyenne Johnson. Miss Johnson, last known to be living in Collinsville, she's wanted for failure to appear on theft of property first. And that's it for the first half of our lineup. Stay tuned for the second half later in the show. Hello and welcome back. I hope you saw somebody in the lineup that you might know or know where they are. And if you do, call that Crime Stoppers number or call the Sheriff's Office directly, 256-236-6600. We're here with Ken Kirkland, Dean of Health Services at Gadsden State. Welcome, Ken.
Well, thank you, and good morning. And on behalf of Dr. Murphy and the college, thank you for the opportunity to come and just share the great things that we're trying to make happen for our community. And so I always like to say it says Gadsden State Community College because the community should come before the college.
Outstanding.
And so our job and our mission is really trying to find how can we connect individuals who want to skill up or find new occupations, and how do we connect them to middle and high-wage occupations that are out there. And so as the Dean of Health Sciences, I have exciting opportunities to share that are coming to our college, and one of those is last year we started our echocardiography program, which is an add-on certification for our sonography program.
Oh, wow.
And so individuals, while going through our sonography program, we're one of the only programs in the state who's vascular accredited. And so those students earn all 3 modality certifications while going through the program. And so this is an additional certification, makes them even more prepared for the workforce, but it also helps those healthcare providers maximize all those reimbursements that insurance companies now look for of make sure that individual performing that scan is certified and eligible to be able to perform those scans.
Well, you know, speaking about certifications, you talk a little bit about your background. You have a master's in nursing.
That's right.
You're an RN, and you're a
paramedic by background also.
Paramedic by background,
Yep,
so you're no stranger to health sciences, are you?
That's right. One of these days I'll figure out what I want to do when I grow up. So.
Actually, back in 2008, I went through the Gadsden State basic EMT program. I just wanted to do it, and got my license in the state to be a basic EMT. And you know, community colleges, especially Gadsden State, my daughter attends. There's lots of opportunities to go out and get skills to become somebody with a trade, a skill that you can make a lot of money at and have a good life doing through Gadsden State.
That's right, and so many things that we offer through our continuing education and our skills training program too. So these might be graduates out in the community that are looking for that ability to skill up and become a little more specialized within their roles. And so there's opportunities out there for every type of student or every type of learner.
And you were talking off camera before we started at the job opportunities in the health services area for just about anybody who needs
I don't
a
know
job.
that in 14 years I've ever seen it as good for healthcare providers as I'm seeing right now. And so in fact at our college, one of the many programs that we're offering and starting to offer is that we're almost ready to begin opening the doors for our dental assistant program and for our medical assistant program also. And so our medical assistant program will be based down here in our Anniston campus and in a good dual enrollment partnership so that we can start linking high school juniors and seniors to healthcare careers so that when they graduate, they're already able to enter that workforce with a credential, but they're also able to work in that field while skilling up and moving out.
And that's so important for our high school kids to see a light at the end of the tunnel. Not only do they get their high school diploma, but maybe, you know, at 15 or 16 or so, they're interested in the medical field and they want to do something, and you know, they can get that certification and kind of be working toward that before they even graduate high school.
Well, you know, in today's world, I know we're kind of jumping around a little bit, but right now there's a shortage of EMTs. There's a shortage of nurses, and you pretty much, if you're willing to do it, you can get a job, a high-paying job, and becoming a basic EMT is basically one semester, and then you can go on and become a paramedic, which is a higher level. But you know, for people that are looking to do something to get into a career that starts out paying pretty well, you could go through 14, 15 weeks, get your license, and you could be an EMT working and getting a good skilled labor job as you work up to be a paramedic on to a nurse.
That's right.
All at Gadsden State. So.
And through those EMT programs as well, they're able to certify through firefighter or through a police and criminal justice background, and they're able to pursue. And I know that makes them more marketable when they go out of, you know, not only being background of criminal justice, but also having that EMT background as well.
Absolutely.
So
Plenty of opportunities available for kids in high school to advance themselves and move into community college and get great paying jobs. We're going to take a break here, and we'll be back, but we have the second half of our lineup, so stay with us here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. And welcome to the second half of our lineup. First up this half, Jerry Coney. Miss Coney, last known to be living in Munford. She's wanted for failure to appear on possession of a controlled substance and use and possession of drug paraphernalia. Take a look at Stacy Mayfield. Miss Mayfield, last known to be living in Talladega. She's wanted on failure to appear for possession of a controlled substance. Meet William Petty. Mr. Petty, last known to be living in Wedowee. He's wanted on a probation violation for domestic violence second, assault, and possession of a forged instrument second. This is Talisha Woodard. Miss Woodard, last known to be living in Anniston. She's wanted for probation violation for domestic violence second and domestic violence third. Take a look, Keandra Morgan. Miss Morgan, last known to be living in Anniston, wanted for probation violation for robbery third, failure to appear on a possession of a controlled substance. This is Ethan Coron. Mr. Coron, last known to be living in Oxford, wanted for probation violation for possession of a controlled substance, possession of marijuana first, and assault second. And that's it for our lineup this week. If you have any information on these folks, please give Crime Stoppers a call. That number, 1-833-251-7867. Welcome back. We hope you saw somebody in that half of the lineup. You know where they are. Give the sheriff a call. You call, they haul. We're here with Ken Kirkland, Dean of Health Services at Gadsden State Community College. We're talking about all those wonderful opportunities that exist if you want to get into, well, any profession, but particularly the health profession.
Yeah, and I want to kind of add too that as our college is exploring bringing back athletics, that there is a community survey that's out there that we need help engaging our community and getting your feedback. And so you can go to the college's website, and there's a survey that's there that we would really love some great community feedback. We had a community town hall just last week and had great outpouring of support for this, but you know, any type of edge or any type of support that can be provided would be great.
Oh, so what is that website?
GadsdenState.edu, and right there on our homepage is a link to the survey for baseball and softball.
Great little community college, great community college.
Yeah.
So you said beginning of the show you had some opportunities coming up.
So we recently was awarded a grant to start a standardized patient program. And a standardized patient program is trained medical actors that have memorized a script, and they're able to help us immerse that student into the next scenario. So most scenario training is done with mannequins or robotic mannequins, and you only get so much interaction between a student and that mannequin. And so this helps bridge that gap going into the clinical area, where we're now able to say, you know, the difficulty or the most challenges that students face is really interacting with another person, developing that bedside manner, or having difficult conversations with people. So that interpersonal conflict and being able to resolve those difficulties, we're now able to train actors to help us with that.
That's great. So are you working with Gadsden State's theater department or JSU's theater department?
So what we would do is work with not only the theater department, but these could be community members as well that could apply through a link that would be on our website when the program is ready to open. And what we're able to do is craft scenarios that's given to us by our employers that say this is where new graduates or even current employees struggle the most with just customer service, and how do you provide that bedside manner? Because right now the student may say, well, that's my faculty saying that, or that's my peers saying that. When you have a third-party person that's memorized a script and they're able to say, you know, we really got to work on your bedside manner. You know, you just kind of took my arm and put the blood pressure cuff on there. You didn't really tell me what you were going to do. It makes them so much more prepared when they go to clinicals, but it also allows us to practice in a safe environment those difficult conversations that healthcare providers sometimes have to have that just may not be an appropriate time to do that in a clinical setting.
Well, that sounds great. You know, we do a similar thing at the law enforcement academies. We bring in role players for various scenarios and de-escalation, and it's nice to have civilians, people that aren't in the business, to come in and kind of help everybody adapt.
Right.
Although I don't imagine you'll be giving CPR to these actors.
No, not anytime soon, I hope.
Don't want to break any ribs on the poor actors.
That's right. So.
Well, you know, when you were talking about that, I was thinking a friend of mine who's up in Virginia is doing a web seminar for teaching children, young children, elementary school kids, first aid. He's gearing that toward first aid for little kids. What do you think of that?
I think training in hands-only CPR is applicable too. At our last college, we trained 8th graders hands-only CPR. It's just 2 steps. Call 911 and push hard and fast in the center of the chest. And you know, if you push in the center of my chest and I groan, I probably don't need CPR. So, yeah.
Basic. That's basic. You learned that, didn't you?
I did.
First day of class.
Well, I think anytime you're teaching somebody something, you know, a lot of times when you're younger, the more you're exposed to something, the more it takes hold. So showing somebody something once isn't necessarily going to make a difference, but if something they see all the time or yearly, as you grow up, they know what it is, and it, you know, makes a difference in how they learn. So.
And introducing these students early to these difficult situations allows, while they move through the program, to build more challenging and difficult scenarios, so that we hopefully have cut that corner on soft skills, is sometimes the term that we use, or you hear employers talk about. You know, they need better soft skills. We're now able to provide that edge without having to do it through robotics, but able to do it with just live interactions back and forth with each other.
That's really, really good. So how many actors are you looking to pull in?
It would vary by the number of scenarios, and so our programs each have respective scenarios that their particular field either struggles with trying to teach, because again, those robotics can only go so far. And what we do is we also take input from our employers, and so those that sit on our advisory committees say, you know, these are where our students struggle the most. And so it may be that you're a senior paramedic and I'm a brand new paramedic, and that senior paramedic is saying, no, that isn't the right course of treatment. And we're just evaluating, do you argue with them, or do you stand back? And so trying to teach them to be more confident. And again, in those difficult scenarios where sometimes it's, as Dr. Murphy will say, having those courageous conversations with people. So.
Well, Gadsden State Community College leading the way in health services and getting people trained to better serve the community, like the Sheriff's Office does. We appreciate you being on the show with us today.
I appreciate the opportunity. Thank you.
Tell us that website again.
It's gadstenstate.edu.
Gadstenstate.edu. Thank you, Ken, for being here. We appreciate it. And we'll be right back with you. We've got the Crime Stoppers portion of our show, and then we'll be back with our crazy criminal here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted. Welcome to the Crime Stoppers portion of our show. We got a couple cases for you to look at this week. First one, between January 11th and January 14th. A burglary occurred at a residence on Nesbitt Lake Road in Jacksonville. A steel pressure washer, Husqvarna weed eater, DeWalt battery-powered weed eater, miscellaneous fishing gear, clothes, and shoes were stolen from that location. And between November 25th and December 29th, a diamond dinner ring was stolen from a home located on Friendship Road in Oxford. And that's it for your cases this week. If you have any information on these cases, please call Crime Stoppers. That number, 1-833-251-7867.
Stupid! You're so stupid!
Sheriff, it's crazy criminal time.
Yeah, well, these two guys scrolled their way on into jail if you put their pictures up.
Scrolls.
Yeah.
So
when you want a mask or a disguise and you don't have a good budget,
yeah,
you use magic marker like these two guys did to do their fake beard and their Batman mask. They got caught trying to break into an apartment in Iowa. Their names are Matthew McNeely and Joey Miller. So it's just kind of, I'm not sure it worked very well, but that's what they considered to be mask. I'm not sure if they were playing Batman and Robin or what. So.
Oh my. I wonder if that stuff washed off very easy.
I don't know who those masked men were, but they didn't do a good job. They got caught and their mask didn't work very well. So
I can see them being in a section without not washing off. That would be an interesting
that's
trick
permanent
for
marker there.
Ooh,
So,
ooh. Wow. Well, so the lesson there is if you're going to break the law and you want to hide your identity, don't do it with magic marker.
Get a little bit better of a budget, but hopefully you wouldn't break the law or do any kind of crimes, because normally you get caught and then you go from not having any money to being in jail and really not having any freedom. So it's just best to do the right thing and scroll on to somewhere else instead of your face.
That's right. And turn yourself in if you break the law. That's always nice, too.
Yep.
And speaking of rest, we want to again recognize QT.
QT, you've done a great job, 10 years of service. In dog years, that makes them pretty old. So
That's 70.
yeah.
Well, you get a lot of reserve deputies that are in their 70s. You know what? I don't know. Maybe Eric Patterson ought to be coming up on retirement too.
Well, his handler, Eric Patterson, is coming up on retirement, but not quite yet. He's got a couple more years left. But QT, when he do retire him, he will go home to live with his handler, Eric Patterson. So Eric will get to keep him for the rest of his life, and he'll get to enjoy himself on Eric's farm and live the good life. So.
How many canines do you guys have now?
I don't know exactly, 3 or 4.
3 or 4. Yeah, I mean, that's a great service to the Sheriff's Office and the community to having canines in the schools. It's fantastic. So, thank you, Sheriff. Thank you for QT for your years of service, and Eric for handling QT all those years. And thank you for tuning into Calhoun County's Most Wanted. We hope to see you again next week, but not in the lineup here on Calhoun County's Most Wanted.